Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, it's snow season. I'll have your weekly forecast.
Plus, highway headache as I-81 construction continues. Commuters complain it's getting harder and harder to get around.
And the shutdown gets shut down. Will the drama in D.C. delay when people get SNAP benefits? All that and much more in this edition of Mornings on the Hill.
Good morning from the campus of Syracuse University. I'm Luke Radel.
And I'm Victoria Daly. Thanks for joining us this morning on the Hill.
And Victoria, it's pretty chilly out on the Hill this morning.
Yeah, the snow actually hit Syracuse on Monday for the first time, and I've been wearing a jacket all day, inside and outside.
Well, luckily, we're inside our studio here. We've sent our Holden Sherman out into the elements for a first look at your weather forecast. Holden, you're looking a little chilly out there, bud.
Guys, right now, we just had some slight flurries, but really the main thing right now is the wind. The low was at 9 a.m. It was 25 degrees. Temperatures are going to slowly rise up. We might actually get to the 40s later today. So if we get any more precipitation, it's going to probably be in the form of rain. One thing I would definitely say is after, having these past few days of snow, conditions on campus are very, very slippery, and obviously it's a very hilly one. So anyone who has got shoes with good traction or boots, I'd make sure to be wearing those. It's going to continue like this for the rest of the day with the wind. So just make sure that when you're walking very slowly, and if you can get to the same spot that you want to get to without walking into the wind, I would highly recommend it. To see how people are enjoying the winter temperatures in the fall, Gabriella Peniston has more. Guys?
Syracuse's first snowfall of the season has finally arrived, and while it makes campus look like a winter wonderland, walking to class has been anything but easy. But when the sun goes down, the same snow that makes the hill a struggle to climb turns into a reason to celebrate.
And a special tradition happens right here at night.
As soon as the first big snow hits, students rush to Krause Hill, using anything they can find to sled on.
We just heard it was a tradition, so we were like, okay, let's do it.
Oh, well, we're not allowed to bring actual sleds on this, so the fun of it is anything but a sled.
From storage bins to plastic lids, the creativity here is key to having a good time.
It's with a under-the-bed storage container that I didn't use.
It's all flimsy now, but it's going pretty good.
And while most students bundled up, one decided to take the tradition to another level.
Are you not cold?
Yes, but this is so much more fun. So I thought, you know what? You can only slide down this hill for the first time once, so I thought, why not do it right? Put on the bathing suit trunks and slide down like I'm surfing.
From slipping on sidewalks to sliding down hills, Syracuse students know how to make the most out of the cold.
And I think we can officially make November part of the Christmas period.
I disagree.
Gabby, thank you very much. Well, later today, Syracuse University is kicking off a two-day celebration for its new Center for the Creator Economy, starting tonight with a launch party at Whitman's Flom Grand Hall. The event features keynote speaker John Yashai, who worked with YouTube and Instagram. Tomorrow, the CUSE Creator Con brings networking opportunities like panels and workshops. Events will run all day.
And starting next year, active duty service members will get a discount on getting their degree at state-run universities. SUNY Chancellor's John B. King says the program will begin in spring 2026 at selected campuses and plans to expand in the next fall.
Well, with the cold weather comes to an end our construction season in central New York, which provides much needed relief for commuters. Our Ryan Story joins us live from I-81, which has been the source of a lot of travel troubles lately. Ryan?
It's already hard enough to deal with snow while driving, but commuters from one Syracuse suburb have even more to deal with on the road. With construction season winding down, Cicero residents are excited for a bridge finally opening back up. The Cicero I-81 overpass is now just a one-way road after construction started on it back in the spring. The lane reduction has created a headache for local commuters.
It kind of seems like they're just trying to rush to get it all done before the winter hits, but, without, thought of what it's doing to local commuters and business owners.
Humberto happens to use the overpass for both business and everyday travel. When he's not working, Humberto is attending Champions Fitness Center. His once short commute has now more than doubled in the time it takes to get there.
I don't go as often during the week, whereas I used to go an extra 3 times or 4 times a week. I'll go to my personal training and maybe once, I'm going less. It's not just clients of Champions who are affected. Gym-goers at Crunch Fitness face this same conundrum. Other prominent businesses such as Drivers Village and Lisi's Barbershop are also blocked off. Relief is on the horizon for Humberto and other Cicero commuters, with construction season in upstate New York generally ending in November. There's no stopping date yet, but the winter months will return normalcy to these drivers. Ryan Story, NCC News.
Ryan, thank you very much. After the break, new emails just released from sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, where he talks about his relationship with President Trump.
That story and more are next on Mornings on the Hill.
And we're back now with breaking news this morning out of Washington.
Congress has released three new emails from convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein where he mentions President Trump.
In one, Epstein tells his partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, that Trump spent, quote, hours at my house, end quote, with an individual whose name is redacted because the House Oversight Committee says they are a victim.
Trump has tried to distance himself from Epstein and claims he had no knowledge of the criminal activities.
Well, elsewhere on Capitol Hill, the House of Representatives is set to vote to end the longest government shutdown in American history.
Our Madison Diaz is here to break down how the deal was reached when a group of Democratic senators crossed party lines late Sunday night. Madison?
Hey guys, that's exactly right. 8 Democrats voted with Republicans Monday to pass legislation to end the government shutdown. But there is a major divide in the party over this decision, as there's notably still no resolution to the expiring health care subsidies that the Dems have been fighting for the last 43 days. As mentioned, the package still has to pass the House, and leader Hakeem Jeffries says House Democrats are still fighting.
And Democrats will continue to press the case to say to our Republican colleagues, you have another opportunity to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits.
Now, I want to take a look at what provisions are in the bill. Obviously, this is not going to encompass the entire bill, but we're going to take a look at some of the biggest points. Now, obviously, the first one, funding to reopen the government, but it is a stopgap measure, meaning that it will only fund the government through January 30th. And we're going to have to see what's going to happen at the end of January if we're going to have another situation like we've been having for the past month. To now funding for government operations, including agriculture programs and Veterans Affairs, are going to be funded for the full fiscal year, meaning through September of next year. Additionally, states are going to be reimbursed for money that they spent to keep the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, aka SNAP, and the Women, Infants, and Children Program, WIC, funded. And as we've said, there is no resolution to continue funding Medicare and Medicaid, but there is a provision in this package that will allow a vote, not just allow, actually guarantee a vote on the issue come December. And there's also a stopgap measure that will reinstate federal workers who received layoff notices, and those federal workers who haven't been getting paid will receive back pay. Now, the House, which hasn't been in session since September, is back, and if the bill passes, it will likely be on the president's desk tomorrow. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Madison Diaz. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Madison. But even though the government shutdown is coming to an end, there's no guarantee that full SNAP benefits will go out.
Yeah, our Alec Harasham is tracking that part of the story for us. Alec, this case made it all the way to the Supreme Court, so what did they have to say?
Thanks, Luke. Yesterday, the Supreme Court extended an administrative stay to Thursday, likely to stall the cases in the Supreme Court until the government reopens. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson issued the stay on a lower court decision last Friday that was intended to fully fund SNAP benefits for November. If it passes the House today, SNAP will be funded until 2026, so we hope that's what happens. The New York Attorney General Letitia James released a statement on the decision saying this decision means millions of Americans will once again be left wondering how they will feed their families. In the meantime, any New Yorkers who have received their November SNAP benefits should not be afraid to use them.
You know, my other hope is during this time, people are looking out for their neighbors and they're lending a hand whenever they can. My hope is that student organizations, if they have a way to get volunteers to come and volunteer at a pantry, or if they have a way to do a food drive, that they do that.
Across the state say they
that
need
was Joan Royal. She is she works with the Westcott Community Center, and after Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, they will be needing food. Especially to those who need it, and they need that support, volunteers and food items, and more than any other time of the year. Food banks will be looking for items like canned tuna, beans, and peanut butter. If you have some cans lying around your home that you're not going to eat, please give them to a food bank. They would very much appreciate it. This is Alec Harashian for Mornings on the Hill.
Alec joining us live from our newsroom. Thank you. Airports have also seen major impacts from the government shutdown that may not go away soon. A pre-existing shortage of air traffic controllers was only made worse by many of them going unpaid for several weeks.
Also going unpaid, TSA agents. This has been leading to longer lines at security checkpoints. Our Alex Grondin spoke to travelers ahead of one of the busiest travel times of the year.
On Friday, the FAA announced it would cut 4% of its flights. That number expected to reach 10 if the government shutdown prolongs. I spoke with SU student Jessica Gutierrez, who told me she is concerned about flying back from Thanksgiving break.
But my biggest concern is coming home from LA. There's not really a backup other than just buying another flight ticket if they don't get me an alternative flight. But that coming home is the biggest concern rather than leaving here.
If her flight does get canceled, she doesn't have many options.
I would just have to go to the airport every day until I could get another flight. And that might just have to look like emailing my professors if it really takes a couple days to come back.
Now, I did reach out to Syracuse Airport, who left me a statement saying, though the 40 airports are the main ones impacted, expect Syracuse to have delays in cancellations, especially when dealing with connecting flights. I spoke to an SU student who went home for the weekend, and he told me all about his crazy travel experience back to Syracuse.
Our flight ended up getting delayed a few hours, got fully canceled for Sunday night. American automatically rebooked us for Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. That flight ended up getting delayed until Tuesday night, and then that flight got delayed for Wednesday morning.
He was set to fly back to Syracuse through Washington, but with the cancellation, he had to find an alternative option.
There was one flight on Sunday night out of Fort Lauderdale, and it was to Pittsburgh, which is, if you don't know, about a 6-hour drive from Syracuse. That flight was for 8 p.m. on Sunday.
Reporting for Mornings on the Hill, I'm Alex Grondin.
And the FAA announced this morning that the cuts have now reached 6%.
And according to Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, if the government shutdown continues, then flights may be impacted during the holidays.
I'm really excited to go back home for the holidays. Do you have any exciting plans coming up for Thanksgiving?
I'm going to Detroit for a couple days for a Giants football game.
That's so much fun.
Oh, I'm so excited. But I'm driving because I was scared of the flight, so we're driving to Detroit 9 hours.
We'll have to see if the driving weather is going to be good. We'll check in with our Holden Sherman with a full look at our forecast. Holden?
Guys, me, my photographers, my producers who are out here driving with us to this spot, it is fall season, but it is winter season. And throughout the region, as you can see, we're in that 30 zone. There's snow in some spots, there's rain in other spots. In some areas, we're going to get above 40. And then looking at the 5-day forecast, that's actually going to continue over to Syracuse for the next 5-ish days. We're looking at some snow on Monday, getting 2 inches. But overall, get ready. Make sure you have your coats and everything. But one thing you need to make sure you're not doing is if you're going to Starbucks, guys, you can just get this cup. We don't need to get the Bear Cup. And if you're going to get coffee or you're going to get the Bear Cup, don't flex everyone that you're getting your iced latte. Guys, it is freezing out here. Andy Williams calls it the most wonderful time of the year because of the snow, because of the cold temperatures. Not so you can get an ice-spiced macchiato, pumpkin spice, whatever you want to call it, guys. I'm kind of chilly out here. Everyone else is probably chilly out here, too. I'm going to toss it back to you guys. You're probably warm inside in the studio, and I'm very jealous. Guys?
A bundled up Holden Sherman reporting live from outside my apartment building. Holden, thank you. Coming up.
On Mornings on the Hill, the two Syracuse women's basketball players had record nights last night. Stay tuned.
Good morning. I'm Eric McCormick with your Orange Sports Update here on Mornings on the Hill. It was a full slate of action in the sports world, so let's get right into it. Starting off, it's been a crazy start to the NBA season since tip-off about a month ago. But one of the most surprising things is who's standing on top of the league and how they're doing it. Our Sydney Couillet has more.
Today marks the first time that the Detroit Pistons have been the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference in 20 years. The last time this occurred was during the 2005-2006 season. And while Piston fans are one of the most loyal fan bases to a fault, it was a long process to get to this point. Cade Cunningham was drafted as the first overall pick out of Oklahoma State to a 20-52 record Pistons. However, there was no immediate overhaul of the culture. As the season progressed, the Pistons only improved their record by 3 more wins, led by a 17-5-5 Cunningham. Needing a spark to support their new Supermax superstar, the Lions drafted rim runner Jalen Duren and explosive guard Jalen Ivey. Slightly improving the next season, they needed a versatile defensive-minded wing, and here comes Asar Thompson. And even then, with all the puzzle pieces now in place, during the 2023-2024 season, the Pistons went 9-59. The Detroit Lions had a better record, and they played 65 fewer games in the regular season. But just like everything comes in seasons, so did the Pistons, being one of the worst teams in the league. Currently now 9-2, this Pistons team is on a roll. Cade Cunningham just dropped a 46-point triple-double, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists over the Washington Wizards. Now, once Ivy comes back and they're able to sign Malik Beasley, this will not only be one of the deepest teams in the East, but they will have a real shot at being an Eastern Conference Finals contender. Eric, back to you.
Thanks, Sydney. Things starting to look up in Motown. Now let's head down to the Big Apple, where the UFC returns for its annual event under the bright lights of Madison Square Garden. In the main event between defending welterweight champion Jack Della Maddalena and UFC pound-for-pound #2 Islam Makhachev, there's more on the line than just UFC gold. It's about glory and revenge. For the former lightweight champion Makhachev, a win would cement him amongst the sport's all-time elite greats and mark him as the 11th two-division champion in UFC history. In his way Saturday night will be a hungry Della Maddalena looking for the first title defense of his welterweight championship reign after winning the belt back in May. Della Maddalena will also have a chance to avenge his countrymate and friend Alexander Volkanovski, who suffered 2 losses to Makhachev back in 2023. In the co-main event, women's pound-for-pound numbers 1 and 2 collide in a show sure to bring the fireworks. Former strawweight champion Magnum Zhang Wei Li moves up to the flyweight division to take on long-reigning champion Valentina Bullet Shevchenko in what many are saying has the potential to be the greatest fight in women's mixed martial arts history. Well, mark your calendars for an electrifying night of fights on Saturday in New York City. But right now, we move back to the court, where Syracuse women's basketball returned to action last night and put up a season high in points in a win. Troy Junn has more on what went down in the Dome last night.
Thanks, Eric. Syracuse women's basketball started last season 1-2 with back-to-back double-digit losses to St. Joe's and Maryland, but it's been smooth sailing so far in the first 3 games this year, and last night was a complete offensive performance. SU got off to a quick start in the first quarter and never looked back, leading 13-2 to begin the game. Layla Thelia, the Texas transfer, had her best performance in an orange uniform with 22 points and shot 5 for 5 from the floor alone in the first quarter, using a signature mid-range jumper. But how about Dominique Darius, a guard that redshirted last year under Felicia Leggett-Jack, in the second quarter, had an 8-0 run on her own. She finished with a career-high 22 points. Another standout was freshman center Uche Izoze. Izoze showed off her prowess down low with this putback here to end the third quarter. And between Izoze, Thelia, and Darius, they all combined for 60 of SU's 96 points. New career highs in points for both Darius and Izoze, while Thelia's 22 points are the most she's had in the game since 2024. Now, it's been 3 lower-level opponents to begin the year for SU, but already significant improvements have been shown on both sides of the ball for FSJ squad in what's essentially a completely overhauled roster. SU takes on Wagner next up on Sunday before taking on 2 Power 5 opponents in Utah and Michigan in the Hall of Fame showcase next week. Eric, back to you.
Thanks, Troy. Well, that does it here for us in sports, but we've still got a lot more to come. Our Anton Cox is here to unpack the latest Grammy nominations in entertainment, which is next, so stay with us.
Welcome back to Mornings on the Hill. I'm Anton Cox. It was a busy week in entertainment, so let's jump right in and talk about next year's award season. Grammy nominations were unveiled this week, and here's a look at the artist with the most nominations. As you can see right here, Kendrick Lamar leads the way with 9 nominations, all for his album GNX, followed by Lady Gaga at 7, and Bad Bunny and Leon Thomas at 6. And then there's Sabrina at 5. Just putting it out there, Man-Child for Music Video of the Year is a lock. You'll thank me later. Actress Sydney Sweeney is in hot water after critics say she failed to denounce white supremacy. In a GQ interview this week, she was asked about the controversial American Eagle ad from August, which some argued hinted at eugenics. But when given the chance to either defend or apologize for the campaign, she offered a non-response. Take a look.
Since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
That clip, of course, went viral on social media and brought reactions from Hollywood. Amy Lou Wood voiced her displeasure, while actor Dan Stevens shared a post criticizing Sweeney for not taking a stance. Sweeney was there to promote her latest film, Christie, which opened in theaters last week. And finally, Pixar's oldest franchise is back again. Take a look at this. Disney unveiled a trailer for Toy Story 5, set to premiere in June of 2026. All of your favorite characters are back, including Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear, John Cusack as Jesse, Tom Hanks as Woody. So this movie is set to battle their toughest test yet, technology. You know, we'll see how they do against the iPad kids. But that is all I have for entertainment today. Victoria, Luke, back to you.
Anton, thank you. How many stories can they tell about toys? Anyways, that's all the time we have in show. Thanks for watching. I'm Luke Radel.
And I'm Victoria Daly. Be sure to tune in next Wednesday.